your offensive line, obviously Josh Sills at center. What have you seen out of the last couple of weeks with Josh that's convinced you that to keep him there?
The number one thing has been consistent snaps. I mean, knock on wood, he's had very consistent snaps. You know, and I've learned through years of doing this is, you know, Josh is a guy that's played baseball most of his life. He's an athletic guy, and that's usually your most consistent snappers. And he's got huge hands, and he's done a really good job. He's done a really good job from a communication standpoint of understanding the offense, and he works really hard at that. He spends a lot of time in the office on his own, you know, watching film, wanting to talk about, you know, how we communicate and all that stuff. So we hadn't had any issues there. You know, point of attack, there's no doubt. I mean, he's one of the strongest guys on the team, you know, and he does a really nice job at point of attack. He's just got to continue to work on his pad level because he is 6'6", you know, and you're going against some, you know, 6'1", 6'2" nose guards. That's something he's really got to focus on is his leverage.
Is it moving him out of that spot?
Say it again?
With moving him out of that spot at right guard, how are you handling that?
You know, Chase and John have both done really well. You know, John had the spot there, and then he got banged up a little bit, and Chase took it over. And Chase had several good days of practice. He was a different player at that guard spot. You know, it's just a little different when you back up away from him a little bit at the guard spot, and you're not having to snap the ball. You know, you got less stuff to worry about. But he's shown that he's probably a better guard than he is at center. And I know he rotated at guard last year a good bit, so he is comfortable at either guard spot.
How many linemen are you comfortable with playing in a game right now?
Right now, I'd be comfortable with probably I'd probably be comfortable with 7 of the guys right now. I'd probably be comfortable with 7 guys. You know, it is a little bit of it's not as many as I'd like, but I got some guys that just got to show me they can do it in game time. You know, when Junior gets a shot, he's got to go in there and show us he can get it done. Gamitter has got all the physical abilities to get it done. He's just got to get a shot, you know, during the game. And you know, over there at the right guard spot with Chase and John, you know, Chase played some last year. John being a junior college transfer, he's looked good at times. So there's some guys there that are on the bubble, but you know, that's why we go out and play. I got to see if they can get it done.
So do you go into the game with a plan when you're going to play these guys?
Yes, I go in with a plan of basically right now I've got 7 guys in the rotation, and I go in with a plan as far as rotating those guys when they're going to play. Make myself put them in, whether it's third series, whether it's, you know, whatever part of the game it is, because if I don't, I get caught up in the game and I don't roll them in. I got to make myself do it to give them a shot so they can show us what they can do.
As a coach, philosophically, do you try to build your line inside out? In other words, take your best kid, put him at center, and then build out, or is it?
Yeah, well, you know, obviously in this league, you got to have your most athletic guys on the edges. You know, that's the number one thing. And then those inside guys, yes, you want to take your best of the 3 and put them at center as far as center guard standpoint. So that's what you're looking to do. And then you can't be soft in the middle and be any good at all. You got to make sure that you can hold point in the middle, because, you know, every defensive coordinator, what do they say? Well, I got to stop the run. I got to stop, you know, every one of them say that. So, you know, you can't, if they can stop the run and matching you in numbers and playing 2 safeties, then you're not going to do anything. So you got to at least make them, you know, outnumber you to stop you. You know, if you got 5 in the box, make them have 6. If you got 6, make them have 7. So you got to be physical enough to be able to win one-on-one battles consistently, you know, to get where you want to be. And we're not there yet from a depth standpoint. But, you know, that's why we're recruiting, and that's why we're trying to get to that point. We're getting better. We're definitely better when we're in the spring.
With Mike Brown, coming out of the spring, he was a guy you guys seemed high on, but he still needed some polish. The depth chart comes out. He's your starter at left guard. Just what have you seen growth-wise out of him?
With him, it's been more of a consistency thing because the athletic ability and the strength is no issue. I mean, he bends great. He's really strong. He's athletic. You know, with him, it's more of could he consistently repeat and not make mistakes. And he's done a really good job at that. Now, you know, once you go through the full camp and you're seeing the same defense every day, which our defense is, they do show us multiple things, but now you're going to game plan. So now it's a short week. This guy does something a little different. I got to make sure he can retain that and do what we're asking him to do in a game setting because, you know, there's no redos. You know, like there is at practice. Oh, you missed that. Hey, you'll get it right next time. It's, you know, all of a sudden you get there on Saturday. You got to get it done. And that's what I want to see out of Mike is him stay as consistent as he's been.
Neil said they have 2 NFL caliber defensive ends. How much is that a concern for you going?
Oh, that's very much a concern. You know, they've got both. They've got one kid that can really run. You know, he's about a 220-pound guy that can really come off the edge and make your tackles turn their shoulders, and he dips underneath and beats You know, you watch him play NC State last year. You know, he had several pressures on the quarterback against those guys, and their tackles are really good too. And then the other guy's more of a 270-pound guy he's got good twitch, but he can also bull you. So, you know, those guys, the thing about them is they both got so many snaps under their belt. You know, they've played so much football. They're so much different than we are, where I've got 3 guys who hadn't played a whole lot of football in that setting. So they've got a lot of snaps on their belt, but we just, you know, you can sit there and make a bunch of excuses, but we got to go out there and get it done. You know, I trust in my guys, and I believe them, and they've worked hard, and, Coach Mike's got them ready physically to go out there and get their job done. Now we just got to see, you know, if we, you know, how we match up to NFL caliber guys at the tackle spot.
How do you go into that? Do you go into that with a plan immediately to help your edge guys, or you see how they react to them and then go accordingly?
Well, right now I got to see how they react to them because we don't know. You know, we don't know. You know, we're not going to sit there first play and just say, hey, we're going to drop back pass and say, okay, we'll see if we can get it done. You know, we're going to help them out, get them in the groove, and you know, but there'll be times where we put them on the island out there and see if they can get it done. But we do have a backup. We'll have backup plans for, hey, do we need to help them out here, help them out there? You always got to do that. You know, at the defensive end, at the tackle position, you got to have a plan.
I'm guessing you want to see how they move their feet, how they react.
Yes, I want to see how they react and how if when they get in a pressure situation, do they lose their technique? Because, you know, out there at practice, they're doing a good job with their body position and their footwork and their hand placement. But, you know, when all of a sudden you get in a pressure situation, do you keep your cool? Do you do what you're coached to do, or do you go back to what you were doing, you know, a year ago? So that's going to be the big thing is do they keep their cool under pressure? If they get beat, you know, what happens? Because, you know, it's just you got to have a short memory. It's like playing corner. You know, if you're an offensive tackle, every offensive tackle has been beat. You're going to get beat at some point. You're going to give up a sack, you know. But do you let it affect the rest of your game, or you just go play the next play and have short memory? So that's the things I don't know about. You know, 3 of my 4 guys. Do they have short memories? Are they going to be able to go out there and continue to produce when something bad happens?
How do you deal with the unknowns? Every coach talks about them, the unknowns. How do you handle that? You try to keep it away from your kids and.
No, you try to put them in as many of those situations as you can throughout the year. You know, we do a lot of, you only get so many scrimmages, but we'll take our guys and we'll put them in competitive situations in practice where, hey, pre-practice, we'll line up an offensive tackle and a defensive end, get the whole team around and say, hey, if the offense wins, you know, the defense has up downs, the defense wins, the offense has up downs. You know, you're in front of that many people, so we're trying to create that competitive situation to see how they react to it. You know, so we do that as much as we can and try to put them in that situation before they actually get in it with the lights on. You know, we had scrimmaged at night, you know, with the music turned up and tried to create somewhat of an atmosphere from a communication standpoint and a competitive standpoint. So we've tried to, you know, instead of just kind of looking away from it, say, man, I hope it works out, we've tried to, any way we can, reproduce that.
As the offensive coordinator, how many plays or series do you script?
We'll script the first drive. And you know, from there we'll kind of see what worked, what didn't work, come back to it. But that's really what we'll script, and then everything else is more of a situational type scenario. You know, whether it's a drive starter, whether it's a first down, first down in a series, whether it's a third and short, third and medium, third and long. So most of it comes from that, and you know, you always want to look at getting playmakers the ball. That's a lot of what you're trying to do is get the ball in the hands of people who can score.
How many different receivers do you see getting out there Saturday?
You know, I think we'll play at least 8. I think we'll play at least 8, and I think we'll move the ball around and get the ball to guys that can make plays. I mean, that's what we're trying to do.
Quarterback, with Austin having about a week under his belt since being named starter, what have you seen out of him last week or so?
He's cool and he's calm. You know, I've seen him. I've seen him actually work a lot more, talk a lot more to the offensive line, get on them. You know, when they're, you know, because you know when you're out there at practice, they don't want to get down. You know, they're standing up, like, you know, you're like, I've heard him say, hey, get down your stance, let's go, get ready. You know, so he's kind of taking a more leadership role, more vocal leadership role over the past week, is what I've seen.
Kurt mentioned something interesting earlier this week. He said he'd self-scouted his openers. And what he determined was that when they would put the specific things in for the opponents, usually didn't work. It was the stuff that they went over and over. What's your thoughts on that? How do you go about it?
You got to be careful when you game plan, especially early like this. You know, your number one thing is, what are we good at? what have we been good at in the spring? What are we good at? You know, we go back and get all that, gather all that data and look at it and look at each position and look at the quarterback and what are we good at? And because you got to build your game plan around that more than, hey, I think the way they line up, we can do this to them or we can do that to them. You can't overcoach this first game. You got to make sure that you put all this work in camp, summer, spring, and you got to build off of what you've done from a rep standpoint more so than what you think might work.
Matt, do you have an idea of how many touches you want each running back to get, or do you just go hot hand and whoever's doing well?
It's more of just we've got an idea. We know what we want, how we want to get them the ball, when we want to get them the ball. So we're going to go in with a plan on that.
Matt, O'Loughlin was kind of a guy I think that people thought might have been a slot receiver more so than a tight end, and it seems like he's totally flipped that around. And
yeah, I mean, his body's just changed. You know, he came in as never played any tight end. Now his body's changed. He's 250 pounds. He's strong. You know, but he's still young. But he's definitely, his body has moved him to where he can really do both for us, and that's what we're looking for.
With his spot though, that seems like it's kind of a chess piece for how you guys want to
It is.
formation and block or whatever. How ready are you? Never mind him, but how ready are you for him to be out there and doing what he needs to do?
You know, he's just like some of these other O linemen. We got to give him a shot. We can't. You know, you never know till you know. So at some point you got to take a chance and call a play where either he's blocking on the perimeter or he's in the box blocking or maybe he's catching a ball. You know, so you got to give these guys a chance to see what they can do. When you got such a young team like we do, you got to make sure you give folks a chance to shine.
One more question? Anybody? All right, thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.